MLeague finals for 2017 at the State Netball Hockey Centre. Michael Hutchinson with you for this Premier Men's Division between the Melbourne City Blackhawks and Bayside Bobcats. Matthew Blomley with me in commentary for this one. Matt, you want to read through the lineups quickly?
So Melbourne City Blackhawks has got starting goal shooter Corey Jackson, goal attack Lachlan Dean, wing attack Matt Doyle, centre Joel Gospel, wing defence Anthony Manapato, goal defence Dylan Nexhip, and in keeper is brother Corey Nexhip. On the bench we've got Simon Cartwright, Jake Novak and Jared Walker. Assist in against them are Bayside Bobcats, goal shooter Braden Pastor, goal attack Brody Roberts, wing attack Jamie Marr, centre Lachlan Crowe, wing defence Tim Marshall, goal defence Will Jamison, goalkeeper Andrew Lewis, and on the bench Mitchell Small, Josh Claverino and Dan Rooney.
So we've just got underway, no score yet in the first quarter. Dean misses. Jackson with the crumbs. And Will Jamison with the first rebound of the game.
Bit of a hesitant start from both teams. A few balls been thrown away. They'll obviously look at settling after a couple of nervous minutes.
Roberts swings it cross court. He's open. And Pastori. First goal of the game to Braden Pastori.
That's a good start for him. Once he's settled in, is unlikely to miss many.
Dean looking for an option. Doyle. Jackson on offer. Sinks that one. One apiece with the run of centres. Just over 90 seconds gone in the first quarter.
Bit of a force ball there from Jamie Marr. Probably a little bit of nerves initially, but well taken by Braden Pastor.
Roberts with the quick 1-2.
It's a terrific rebound there from Dylan Nexhip. Looking at driving that out quite early.
Dean Doyle, bit of contact on that pass.
Yeah, that should be quite an interesting match-up there between Matt Doyle and Tim Marshall. Tim's quite a physical defender, offers a lot of presence there, but Matt Doyle quite fast and crafty in his movement.
Roberts out wide, Pastori, beautiful ball to the baseline.
That's a terrific finish there. He's so reliable and goal shooter Braden Pastor.
And picked for his first Open Men's team for Victoria for 2018 as well.
Yeah, still only young, but certainly a big opportunity there for him to cement a spot in the Victorian Open team, and I think he can do quite well up there.
A couple of injuries that Victoria have to cover, particularly Tim Walker out for next year, recovering from an ACL injury.
That was a textbook move for Corey Jackson. He loves that last-minute pop from a hold, and very difficult to stop on it. It's quite a quick move from that. The baseline just opens nicely there for Brody Roberts.
I was going to say it was a brilliant rotation between the two. Didn't look like it was actually meant to be, but it looked great.
Somehow he can always manage to get his feet back on court quickly. Brody, you can't give him the space at all. And that's his first goal for the match. Just a slight late contest from Will Jamison there. Probably hoping to get there a little bit earlier than he did. But terrific pass in from Matt Doyle.
Oh, can't finish.
Just no communication between the defence on that particular occasion. Normally a strength of both of those defenders, their communication. But it just opens up nicely for Corey Jackson.
Beautiful ball. Pastori ran rings around Corey Nexhip there.
He had no idea where he was on that occasion. That should be an interesting matchup to see how that continues. Corey's had quite a good couple of MLeague seasons coming up from Kyabram for those.
Good timing on the jump from Jamison, just short on the distance.
Yeah, may have been pushing his luck on the distance there, but terrific timing, nevertheless. at 4 goals apiece now. 5 minutes into the quarter. Both teams are starting to settle a bit after those early nerves. Bayside can be quite patient in their attack like they are at the moment. They're not afraid to kick it back to the line. They've always got support there. Just wait for that opportunity to open up.
Quick on the release, but great rebound there from Dylan Nexip. Oh.
Weren't many options there for young Anthony Manapato. Looking for someone to come to him, just no one came.
Brodie Roberts just glides into the circle. Off on that one as well. Just wants to probably get his iron in the next minute or so.
He is so good at that rebound, though. There's that one-handed flick to himself. He managed to just time it perfectly against most defenders.
Oh, Jackson was open there for a split second.
A lovely feed from off the circle, even though it was low. Both teams are clogging up defensively quite well through the court at the moment. A lot of pressure being applied. Just not many options down court.
And they're happy to take that long pass too, to clear the mess too. They're not looking for necessarily a driver through that. They're happy to throw a long pass to clear it. The story sure on that shot. Takes the margin to 2 against the run of centres and a chance to take it to 3.
Nice rotation there. Good sweep by Braden. He just needs to settle those feet on the shot in a couple of these. I don't know why he's forcing that step on. The defenders aren't really getting above his shot at this point. Joel Goswell in the centre for Melbourne City Blackhawks. Terrific young player. Played under 17s for Victoria the last year, up in their 20s for the next year. But so patient, such a reliable left-hander. He's had 2 terrific MLeague seasons. I think the kid's got a big future ahead of him.
It's already directing traffic in the middle.
Oh, somehow kept his feet then, Will Jamieson. Not quite sure how he managed to keep those hands away from it for long enough for a step. Oh, well done, Anthony Manapato.
Around the body. Good tip and followed it up. Doyle on the fly. Beautiful pop pass to Jackson.
And that's a finish we expect from Corey Jackson. Doesn't miss many, but when he does, you've got to take advantage of them. Just staying nice and patient again, the Bobcats attack line. Just waiting for that easy shot to open up rather than forcing a long one.
The story, he doesn't waste any time. He doesn't balk at the shot, does he?
No, it's eyes always straight on the post, and ever since he played under 17s, he's been able to just turn and shoot like that. It's such a terrific aspect of his game, so reliable. But nowadays he also has some terrific movement with that. It's really getting that court craft side of things. Probably getting a bit deep in the pocket there, Jamie Marr, but still patient with it. Good rebound there by Braden Pastor. And finishes, doesn't hesitate on a second shot.
Well, the Bobcats finished on top of the ladder this season. Only lost a game to the Blackhawks. Round 5 won by 7. Round 10 lost by 3. Then were hammered in the semi-final by 18 against the Blackhawks a couple of weeks ago now, and then won their way into the final tonight by beating the Seahawks last week by 13, as Jackson brings the margin back to 3 with the centre pass to follow. Just over 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Oh, just a bit of miscommunication in their attack line there. A bit of crossover. Not quite ready for that on the hold. Andrew Lewis had already come off it. Unable to finish, unfortunately, there for the Blackhawks. Terrific transition here from the Blackhawks. Long options, deliver the ball straight away. And that Three-quarter length shot from Braden Pastor. Never a doubt.
Oh, breaking call there on Jamie Marr. So it gives the Blackhawks a chance to, again, score off the Bobcats centre pass. A little bit of a hold there by Manny Pato on Matt Doyle. Dean looking for something, anyone. And Jamison just ate it up.
I'd like to see Lockie Dean turn and look at putting a couple of shots up. He's got a terrific shot, terrific action,
yeah.
Very reliable there. Just been a bit hesitant at this point. Oh, great goaler.
Yeah, good footwork from Roberts. Can't finish it though.
But terrific strength from the Blackhawks.
Jamison
Will Jamison doesn't
it.
even hesitate at eating that one up over the slightly less experienced Anthony Manapato.
Great read from Will Jamison. 2 passes in the circle, goal. Margins looking a little bit dangerous at 5. Any possible changes that the Blackhawks could make, or would you let the line settle for a little bit longer?
I think they're just got to be not afraid to let the ball go a little bit more in attack. Start getting Lockie Dean into the game a little bit, because I think that would take a bit of the pressure off Corey Jackson, who's in shooter. Take a bit of the attention away from him for a moment, and then he'll open up again.
Marr and Crow just working it outside. Gospel.
Terrific hands there, Joel Gospel.
Good hands to the ball.
And backed up superbly by Anthony Manapato. Just still being patient here, the Blackhawks attack. Oh, terrific time in there, Corey Jackson.
Great shot. Over the reach of Lewis. It's a very tall circle in the Blackhawks.
Andrew Lewis is deceptively tall there, actually, and he plays like someone a lot smaller as a defender, but can move quite well. And he had a terrific Nationals in the open mix team, I must say, as a keeper against some terrific goalers.
Contact on the ball from Jamison. Goal to Doyle. Margin back to 2 with the Bobcats centre.
Yeah, 12 minutes into the quarter, and that's Lockie Dean's first goal. That's probably something they need to look at addressing in the next quarter.
Sort of a bit of Nat Medhurst there, is he? Just
a lot of offloads. A slightly shorter goal shooter he's offloading to, though. Look, he's connecting quite well in the circle.
Yeah.
Probably needs to do a little bit more out of the circle if he's not going to be putting the shots up.
Certainly a good mover, and probably if he was willing to put up a few more shots, could potentially take Will Jamison out of the game. Don't let him, have that free run out the front of him to be able to contest the ball, knowing that he's not going to put up a shot. Yeah,
absolutely. If you're keeping him a lot more occupied, he's going to have less impact over Corey Jackson's shot, less likely to have any blocks there.
That was a great pick up from Doyle there, just outside the circle. Oh, Will Jamison. That was a
well read by Will
touch.
Jamison. Probably wasn't the greatest goal in setup. Both gone behind with not much space there, especially when they were already in front.
Yeah, it was a screen that wasn't held. I think Lachlan Dean probably came off the screen probably a little too early and allowed Will to recognise where the ball was moving and contest.
Look, good first hands by Lockie Crow on that first contest. Just a little late on the second one there, but certainly keeping the pressure on. It's terrific to see Lockie Crow back in the mix playing MLeague. Spent a few years overseas. Prior to that, he was Victorian 23 and under, and then Victorian mixed player as well as playing Australian mixed team. So terrific to have someone of that experience starting in the centre and back in our country.
And players who are playing in the Australian Championships next year can nominate for the Australian
well done, Matt
Great
Doyle.
Tip from Doyle, keeps it in. Great backup by Manny Pato. Gospel on the move.
And that drive by Dylan Exip to help support there, that's more, I think, what they want to see. He's very good at that drive through the middle of the centre third, but we probably haven't seen as much of him. He's probably a bit too occupied by what Brody's doing outside the circle.
Yeah.
Oh, great swing.
Offensive penalty on Roberts.
And just time held there for the ball on court. Oh.
It's a indirect pass there to Gospel.
probably wasn't executed the way he would have liked, but he recognised that straight away. Oh, well-kept footwork there by Jamie Maher.
Story, he's happy to shoot from anywhere.
You cannot fault that. It's so difficult to defend a goaler who can sink them from anywhere. I mean, perfect example of that being Marie Tutai.
Blackhawks have 2 seconds left to score. Doyle.
Oh, so close on that last shot.
If it had gone in, another goal would have counted. It would have been after the whistle. But after the first 15 minutes in the Premier Men's 2017 MLeague final, it is the Bobcats leading the Blackhawks 13-10. It was a brilliant rotation between the two.
There's no communication between the defence on that particular occasion. Normally a strength of both of those defenders. They come up nicely for Corey Jackson.
Beautiful ball. Pistori ran rings. Brody Roberts just glides into the circle. Off on that one as well. Just wants to probably... Pistori sure on that shot.
Yeah, up in the 20s for the next year. But so patient, such a reliable left-hander. Keep those hands away from it for long enough for a step. Oh, well done, Anthony Manapato.
Around the body.
Just been a bit hesitant at this point. Oh, great goaler.
Yeah, good footwork from Roberts. Finish it though.
But terrific strength from the Blackhawks.
Will
Jamison doesn't even hesitate.
Inside the circle. Oh, Will Jamison.
Well read by Will
touch.
Jamison. Probably wasn't the greatest goal.
So we're back here for the second quarter. Bobcats leading the Blackhawks 13-10 at quarter time. Matt, you've got some shooting stats for us.
Yeah, Corey Jackson, as I said earlier, was ever reliable, shooting 9 goals from 11. It's just that early miss, and midway through that quarter, another miss. We've also got Lockie Dean on 1 from 3. Braden Pastor, 11 from 13, really doing the volume for them, with Brody Roberts at 2 for 4.
Bit uncharacteristic for those two goal attacks to be not shooting that well either in terms of volume or accuracy.
I think it says a lot in terms of the Bobcats that they're quite happy to go through Braden Pastor and use him for the goals as he just sinks another shot there, first for this quarter. The Brody Roberts probably doing a lot of the feeding work for him and set up for that good shot. At the moment, Lockie Dean's probably not doing quite as much on the setup, just hasn't maybe looked at putting the same shots up. Terrific connection between him and Matt Doyle there. That said, that's the one I'd like to see him turn and put up. That's a mid-range shot. He can sink that.
Definitely.
Rather than refeed and maybe forcing a ball.
You know, a pass out is a pass back in, and that's 2 opportunities for the ball to turn over. And great jump at the shot from Will Jamison.
Yeah, I would have liked, if he'd put up that first shot, I think it would have been shot with a bit more confidence, rather than giving these defenders a chance to set up and get over the shot.
Massive outlet from Marshall to Maher. Back again. Crow. Roberts out of the circle, swings it. Contact on Pastori.
Yeah, probably just using that elbow to hold it a little bit too much on that one and a little bit of a push off.
Blackhawks quickly into attack. That was a quick transition. Can't
that was a
finish
nice
it.
lean over the shot by Andrew Lewis, though.
Jamison, Roberts, Crow. Hasn't looked into the circle. Probably should have on the first opportunity.
I'm not quite sure where Brodie Roberts was spinning to then. Terrifically read by Dylan Exib. Came through very strong. You can definitely rely on him to take the ball strongly on any occasion, not being afraid of who's in his way.
Holding call on Marshall. Dean and Doyle, quick 1-2. Doyle, that's the one you want him to put up because...
He needs to put up that shot because at the moment, they kick him back out. There's terrific hands outside the circle.
It's the one that's getting turned over. Back to the transverse line with Jamison. Ma.
Terrific ball movement there for the Bobcats.
Brilliant timing. And Pastori sitting at 13 from 15. Early stages of the second quarter. Roberts.
Perfectly timed rebound, Roberts.
Brilliant follow-up.
I'm not even sure where he came from for that one, to be perfectly fair.
Nexip was just sort of standing there waiting for the ball to come into his hands. Gospel looking for an option. Doyle double-teamed.
Yeah, the Bobcats often looking for that double and the sag back. Great ball into Lockie Dean on the drop. Again, well-timed Will Jamison over the shot. Unlucky bounces out for Corey Jackson. Looks like it was in from here.
Buckets out. Good choice not to throw to Marshall on that occasion. It was Blackhawks everywhere coming in for that ball. Roberts looking to create something. Pastori, he'll shoot from there. Not this time. Next hit. Gospel. Marshall probably offering a little too wide. Now he's open. Dean. Doyle stops on a dime.
Well-timed lead there by Joel Goldswell, despite the contact from Tim Marshall on that Doyle there. Terrific ball in. Turn and shoot that ball. I think that's going to be my theme for this quarter.
A lot of wheeling and dealing from Lachlan Dean. He finishes that one.
Dean that I know can sink that shot.
Beautiful shot, nothing but net.
And I think if he just puts that shot straight away, no one's touching that.
Yeah.
He has a lot of height on that shot. Just a slightly late contest from Dylan next here there. But, geez, they're going into battle those two for those contests.
So Crow looking for, probably would have been easy to try and get through that first pass, but Roberts shuffles to the post. Margin is 6. It's 4-1 this quarter in favour of the Bobcats. 5 minutes gone in the second.
I'm not quite sure what Dylan Exib's doing on this occasion, doubling back in the circle, especially with Brodie doing so much work outside.
I
don't think you need to double back. Oh, well read.
Yeah.
It's okay if you work in a swap like that particular case, but I don't think you need to double back so early. Force Brodie to do a little bit more work than that.
Contact outside the circle. Blackhawks thought it was their ball.
Just contact for maybe forcing the other goaler slightly out of the way to contest the shot. But a rare couple of misses from Brodie Roberts. He doesn't normally miss the 2 in a row like that.
Blackhawks looking to reduce the margin. Hand on the ball there from Jamie Marr.
Well read. There's a bit of miscommunication from both teams occurring here, but getting capitalised by the Blackhawks at this point. Bit of a frustrated contact, I think, there, Will Jamison.
Jackson makes sure of it. And Blackhawks centre. Contact on Lachlan Crowe. Thought it was going the other way.
I think maybe hoping a bit more than anything.
He's got his Bobcats goggles on, that's for sure. Dean, that was a strong pass outside to Gospel. Found some space on the base.
A very strong rebound, Will Jamison.
Yeah.
Such an experienced defender.
That again, that play, swinging it across court. Pistorius just got great timing and that circle just opens up for him.
He is turning spectacularly when it comes to the right side. They swing it majority of the time here, Bobcats. It's predictable, but it's working for them.
Yeah.
And if the opposition's not doing anything to stop them on it. Oh, well read.
That time, Corey Nexip picks it off. Now Dylan. He's looking for a big outlet. That was a great ball down the middle of the court into Jackson.
Andrew Lewis just caught hunting a little bit there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a bit too far away from Corey Jackson and terrific ball in. Dylan Nexip.
Can the Blackhawks capitalise on this turnover though? They haven't been able to get the margin back to 4 goals for some time. It's been hovering at 5s and 6s, Jackson.
That's one they would have liked to have got in. A long ball. Probably contesting a bit far down the court there, Dylan Nexip. Don't think he was going to ever stay on side, but certainly held it up from the Bobcats.
Pistori just
he doesn't mind a Gretel Tippett-esque layup. He does work on that in his spare time and would like to say he's quite good at it. Unfortunately, not on this occasion.
But he just nailed the shot from longer range. Restores the 6-goal margin. And pretty low scoring second quarter, 6-3. Mind you, their round 5 game was just 43-36. That was incredibly low scoring. Probably indicative of how tight these two defensive units can work.
Look, open up through the space there, Matt Doyle, but there's just nothing down the court for him to look for.
Yeah, I was just about to say their timing seems to be a little off and their transition from the goal third seems to be a little bit slow. There's a reluctance to, make a drive or make some space for themselves when they're a little bit stuck.
I think a lot of that's got to do with the defensive style that Lockie Crowe and Tim Marshall are doing ahead of the court. That they're both sagging back, but Will Jamison's then coming up for a bit of a hunt. So it's really clogging up that space through the transverse to the top of the circle.
Doyle, a little bit of a skid, but stays on side.
Terrific 1-2.
Yeah, that was better play, more open from the Blackhawks. Jackson finishes that one off, and again, a chance to convert their centre. Doyle, Dean, contact on Lachlan Crowe.
Probably not the best time to finally come out of the circle for Corey Jackson on that one, with no other goaler in there. But look, if it's getting Andrew Lewis out hunting out of the contest, it's maybe not a bad thing.
Oh, good tip from Lewis that time, backed up by Lachlan Crowe. In the context of this game, with the margin at 5 goals and neither side scoring 20, do you make a change now to try and either extend that gap or to close it?
I think they're going to look at what they would change up. Is it another defensive option? Is looking at putting someone like a Jared Walker, a very experienced defender, in the circle just to mix things up there. Simon Cartwright perhaps out at a wing defence who can get some taller hands over and maybe offer a different physical presence. But you've also got the young Jake Novak who can play both ends, and maybe that might just be enough to change up their attack line. Terrific ball in, Jamie Marr into Brodie Roberts.
Great footwork from Roberts to land as steady as he did too. Margin the biggest of the game now at 7, with just over 4 minutes remaining before half time.
Oh, great ball in, well held, Corey Jackson. Even though he had the 2 players on him, absolutely kept the space to himself. Now, you can notice the difference in the centre passes is the pressure being applied at the centre pass. Bobcats are right up there keeping the pressure on for the first ball, the second ball, third ball. Blackhawks are letting them get the easy first ball.
Yeah.
And then they're dropping through space. If they can push up a bit longer, maybe put a bit more pressure through there, they might cause a bit more turnover.
And because the Bobcats are playing so confidently, it's really creating a lot more work for themselves by allowing them that first phase pass that's uncontested.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, interesting fend off from both players there, but just happened to fall Brodie Roberts' way after that off-balance shot from Braden.
It was some incredibly creative work there.
I think a pure definition of contesting there, that both players were making a contest of it. One just came out on top.
Yeah, and Doyle then stuck for an option, just threw a Hail Mary, and it landed in Corey Jackson's hand. Roberts.
Just so patient through there.
Yeah. He's a bit like the Scott Pendlebury of netball. He's like he's got all the time in the world to get rid of the ball.
But he's choosing an option. He's waiting for it to become available and just finesse on that.
Seems a bit more confident now on the shot, Brodie Roberts.
Yeah, definitely having more of an impact there. And I think part of that's the pressure through the court that's not been applied this quarter, that it was probably a bit more the last quarter. Well opened. Just hesitating on the shot, Lockie Dean. I think if he just turns and puts it up, even on that one, he's waiting for the defender to make the move rather than being the one to dictate.
Yep. Crow not looking into the circle again, but really there was nothing on offer. Manny Pato really holding off on the circle edge. Not a lot of close marking being paid to Crow there.
Again, not being afraid to swing the ball.
Pop pass from Roberts.
Just trying to force his way through there, Brodie Roberts. Sometimes he does that when he wants to get that front space, but a solid body like Dylan Exhips is not going to get pushed out of the way easily, and is certainly going to be noticed when he does.
Look, there wasn't much in it from our angle, but Kate Wright is a lot closer than we are.
Yes, I dare she saw what was going on with the arms and the legs right in front of her there. We had a bit more of the backs to us.
Bit of creative positioning there from Brodie Roberts.
Oh,
and
just
that was
forcing a bit of a ball
forced pass into the circle there from Gosbell, and the Bobcats eat it up. A minute to go in the second quarter, and they lead by 6.
Quick swing ball there from Brodie Roberts.
Pastori, what is it going to take to get a miss shot from Braden Pastori?
You need to get him off balance. Simply get over the shot easily, but force him off balance on it, because as soon as he's settled on his feet, he's not missing that shot.
And his positioning's so good as well that he's taking that ball uncontested. It's not like he's got body on body when he takes the pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've got Corey next doing the best he can over the shot, but I think he just needs to contest maybe a bit more ball that's actually coming into there. Because he is veering up over the shot. He's trying everything he can once the ball's in the hands of Braden. But
is there potential to switch Dylan and Corey in the defence end? Do you think that would make a difference?
I think they rely so heavily on Dylan driving the ball out, and he's such a presence driving that ball out. Terrific shot, Lockie Dean. That's that one I said about. Beautiful.
Couldn't nail it at the end of the first quarter. Nails it at the end of the second. Brings the margin back to 6. It's the Bobcats leading at halftime, 24-18. And Pastori. First goal of the game to break. Jackson on offer. Sinks that one.
It's a terrific rebound there from Dylan next hit. The baseline just opens nicely there for Brodie Roberts.
I was going to say it was a brilliant rotation between the two.
Just no communication between the defence on that particular occasion. Normally a strength of both of those defenders there comes up nicely for Corey Jackson.
Beautiful ball. Pistori ran rings. Brodie Roberts just glides into the circle. Off on that one as well. Just wants to probably... Pistori sure on that shot.
Yeah, up in the 20s for the next year. But so patient, such a reliable left-hander. Keep those hands away from it for long enough for a step. Oh, well done, Anthony Manapato.
Around the body.
Just been a bit hesitant at this point. Oh, great goaler.
Yeah, good footwork from Roberts. Finish it though.
But terrific strength from the Blackhawks.
Will
Jamison doesn't even hesitate.
Inside the circle. Oh, Will Jamison.
Well read by Will Jamison. Probably wasn't the greatest.
It's getting turned over. Back to the transverse line with Jamison. Ma.
Oh, terrific ball movement there for the Bobcats.
Brilliant timing. And Pistori.
Oh, terrific ball movement there for the Bobcats.
Brilliant timing. And Pistori. Oh, Roberts.
Perfectly timed rebound from Roberts.
So while it's halftime here in the Premier Men's Division, Bobcats leading 24-18 over the Blackhawks. I've grabbed Andrew Simons from the crowd, just against his will.
Thanks, Michael.
Just to get his thoughts on the game. Andrew is in the Victorian Open Men's team for 2018 for the Australian Championships to be played in Sydney. What are your thoughts so far on this one, Andrew?
It's been a scrappy first half, particularly that first sort of 10 minutes where it was about 5-all. There wasn't a single goal that was sort of scored cleanly from the centre pass. I think the thing that's put Bobcats up in this first half is just they've been more willing to settle and just value the ball a little bit more. There's sort of been some scrappy ball handling by Blackhawks in and around the circle edge, sort of on the refeed, and I think that's been pretty costly. But when Blackhawks have settled and taken their opportunities, I think, they've shown that they're the threat that they are.
Any changes that you would make as if you were a coach of particularly the Blackhawks? Do you think there's anything on the bench that would give them a bit of a lift in the second half?
I think getting a little bit more movement through the mid-court and a little bit sort of stronger ball handling, etc., might be one of the keys to do. I'd be keen to see Lockie Dean sort of provide a little bit more movement and trying to open up Corey in the circle, because when that's been there, they've been able to find Corey easily, and Corey's been pretty much on song.
And he's probably, Dean, a little bit too hesitant on the shot too. Probably would like to see him go to the post a bit more.
Absolutely. Particularly when he's not feeling safe in and around that refeed out to the circle. He really needs to back himself and take it. Yeah.
Thanks for your time. Enjoy the second half.
No dramas. Thank you.
So we're back for the second half between the Bobcats and the Blackhawks in the Premier Men's Division of the Victorian MLeague for 2017 here at the State Netball Hockey Centre. And the Bobcats not off to a great start to start the second half. Lead by 6, 24-18.
Probably just a couple of early quarter nerves as Mitch Small, the only substitution for either team there, just throwing a small ball away.
Yeah, he's come on to wing attack for the Bobcats.
Both teams a bit nervous. Start to the second quarter here. We've just had time called. There's a bit of a schmear on the court. And whilst we've got the break here, we've got from the last quarter we saw Braden Pastor shoot another 5 from 7 goals there, so putting on good value. And also Brodie Roberts shooting 5 from 7. So even an outset between the first quarter where Brodie probably did less of the work. Again, we saw Lockie Dean put up a couple more shots, more of what we wanted from, but they kept Corey Jackson down to 5 goals. As play continues after the quick towel up on court. Oh, beautifully opened.
Oh, just off from Jackson.
Just could not time the rebound there, the defenders.
Tried a bit of a Harrison hoist there, Lewis and Jamison, and came up with it. Jackson scared out of shooting that shot within 3. And the Bobcats into attack, but a stepping call from Pastori. That's one of very few errors we've seen from him in the match to date.
This gives another chance here for Corey Jackson. Does not miss 3 in a row ever. Bringing it back to 5. Here's a chance to hopefully get it back to 4 for Melbourne City Blackhawks. That baseline move from Corey Jackson, opening up the court. Finished off again. Andrew Lewis was just caught turning his head a bit.
And it's something they weren't able to do once the Bobcats got the lead out in that second quarter, reduce it. And they've been able to make good of the first 2 minutes of play in the third quarter to reduce the margin to 4.
Both Bobcats goals opting for a hold there. A bit of a different style to what they had been going for prior to that. We'll see if they stick at that or look at continuing to move in circle. It's worked so well for them.
Roberts scores the Bobcats' first goal of the third quarter. Dylan Nexip nearly leaves it behind him. Doyle drives along the transverse line. Gospel, Dean.
Oh,
almost
well read,
Tim Marshall.
Tim Marshall. Let that foot go offside, unfortunately.
Kate Wright eyes like a hawk on the baseline. Jackson swings it to Doyle and back again.
Just caught the eyes down of Andrew Lewis and perfectly placed that ball over his head.
Beautiful timing. Gospel, Dean.
We're now sitting at 3-1 for this quarter with Blackhawks coming out a bit more firing than the Bobcats. That change just unsettled the lineup for Bobcats, but looking to now settle once again, Braden Pastor.
It's only been a couple of minute period at the end of the first quarter where they got that 3-goal lead, the Bobcats, and then the start of the second quarter where they were able to extend that to 6 and then really hold on to it. So it's a matter of minutes that are really determining the margin in this game as Blackhawks turn the ball over and Roberts glides into the circle and finishes, restores that 6-goal margin they had at half time.
And we're back with centre pass now.
And a chance to make it 7.
That pressure's just dropped off from the Blackhawks that they started the quarter with. But, well kept in, Lockie Crow.
And uncontested too.
And I think that's part of the problem. We need a bit more contest there if they want to stop the Bobcats, rather.
Braden Pastori sitting at 18 from 22 at 82%. Best stats on court.
Matt Doyle just trying to force his way through. Maybe giving a bit of a hand across to the defender to get it past. Tim Marshall just forcing that ball. Braden did his best to come out of the circle and support, but a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, it's taken a bit of time, and I probably wouldn't say the Bobcats have settled yet with Mitch Small coming on wing attack.
Yeah, he certainly plays a different style wing attack than I think Jamie Marr does. So they're just looking for that connection. It's probably a bit more at the ball than Jamie, who's a bit more sit back and then make the drive. We'll see how that connects in as this quarter goes on.
Dean, long way from home. Gospel, Doyle. That is a great matchup. Matt Doyle and Tim Marshall.
There's just so much going on there. It's such a terrific contest. Andrew Lewis not able to clear out after that jump.
Yeah, into the body of Dean and Will Jamison. He's been looking for that all game.
He's playing into his hands at the moment. He's balking on it. Will Jamison is waiting for that, for the opportunity to jump.
Oh, beautiful
Great
ball there from Mitch Small. Roberts under the post. And the margin is at 8. Biggest lead of the game. 5.5 gone in the third quarter.
Also showing why you should always look down the court and into the circle, because that was on early, and it's only because he was looking at the right spot.
Pistori unfazed, 30-21, the score now in favour of the Bobcats.
Now out to 9 goals. I'm surprised the the Blackhawks rather didn't make a change at the break just to try and break it up. But 9 goals is a big margin to be taken back as it comes back to 8, with Corey Jackson scoring his 4th for the quarter. Just something to inject a bit of difference to try and create something new. Don't think it would hurt.
Roberts looks out. Mitch Small wanted to deliver it mid-air. Quick hands and feet. Roberts looks comfortable now on the shot.
And Brodie Roberts is not a goalie you can allow to get into the game, because once he does, he's pretty hard to stop. He's very determined in there.
It was a great drive by Gosbell there into the pocket, and great release as well, knowing that Andrew Lewis had come out looking for the ball. Small, Roberts swings it to Lachlan Crowe. Contact from Dylan next hip.
Just helping Brodie on his way towards the ball on that one.
Yeah, a little frustrated.
Oh, great hands. The younger of the next hip brothers there. I would like to see more from him with that. I don't think he's had as much of an impact as he can in games. Probably kept a bit quiet by Braden Pastor.
Chance now for the Blackhawks to reduce the margin again. Corey next hip, Gosbell. Dylan was there for a week. Bit of miscommunication there, but Dean picks up. Oh, Gosbell circle edge. Great timing from Corey Jackson.
From Corey Jackson.
Came from behind and finishes it. Margin back to 7, halfway through the third quarter.
He may have missed those first 2 shots this quarter, but he's scored his next 6. And I'd say he's winning the battle this quarter against Andrew Lewis.
That shot brought up his 20th for the game. Make that 21. 21 from 28 at 75% for Corey Jackson.
And there's that off-balance shot I was talking about. At the end of the last quarter, that's the one that you're going to put him off on. And it was because of a bit of variation defensively over the shot. He changed up where he was jumping from, the angle where he's jumped from, just forced Braden to think about his shot differently.
Unfortunate for Lachlan Dean there. Had the ball in good shooting range, and the penalty was outside the circle.
With umpire Kate Wright just letting Corey Jackson, no, take that step back. It was actually where the defender was.
It's a game of centimetres, isn't it?
And here comes a change that I was expecting. They're going to pop Jake Novak into goals, but also make a couple other changes through the court, using experience by popping Lockie Dean and Matt Doyle through the middle together. They do work very well, very experienced combination there. It did look a little bit like Joel Gosbell was tiring, but maybe this fresh legs in the goal attack role will just do something different for them.
Doyle now, he's got his bib on upside down, but we'll let him know in a minute, I'm sure. Novak contesting on that rebound already trying to muscle up in that circle. Jamison, Marshall, Crowe, Small to Roberts, is a little stuck.
Oh,
doesn't
no
want to go
options
into
there
the
for
pocket.
Bobcats, but they do always have that kickback. For some reason, hesitant at looking at post on that one, Brain Pastor. Perhaps he thought he was a bit too close to the edge or taking the ball outside the circle.
Caution already for Matt Doyle, and he's just moved to centre. Margin back out to 6. That was off a Blackhawk centre. And Pistori, in a matter of seconds, restores the 7-goal margin.
Unfortunate thrown away ball there. Good hands from the Bobcats. This is where they need to look at doing something defensively, Blackhawks, if they want to get some turnover. Turnover is what is going to get them the ball down the court. Longest step back shot from Braden Pastor. Just goes over.
Novak looking for anyone on offer.
Just missing a few since Novak's come on, Corey Jackson. Maybe forcing a couple of longer shots than he had been. But I think just needs to settle back in. For the Blackhawks, make a bit of a difference. Just a bit of a change of angle there from Mitch Small means he comes up with the ball. Made it look like next hit was a little bit later than perhaps he actually was.
Oh,
well
good
read.
Read from Corey Nexhip. Can the Blackhawks convert? They seem to be patient bringing the ball through court, and then as soon as they get to the circle, there's hesitancy.
And just have a look at the defensive style that Bobcats are going on. They're just clogging up space. They're defending through there, and they're making sure they go meet any player who comes through.
They've got all 5 eligible players sitting in that centre third, really clogging up the space.
Wisely, Jake Novak just sits back, waits for the space to come to him.
From Matt Doyle on to Jackson.
There we go, Corey Jackson.
Great way through the mess.
A lot of hard work for that goal.
It's got to be a little bit more smart. Beautiful ball from Brody Roberts.
Just had the baseline absolutely to himself. Corey Nexhip, not quite sure he was. A bit of a body angle issue there, I think. Bit too flat.
Dean gets the obstruction on Marshall. That was a great tip from Marshall from behind too,
But no one chasing the ball up for Blackhawks.
No.
They were waiting for a call that was never going to come because it wasn't
beautiful
on.
look from Mitch Small. Bastori,
Misses but cleaned up by Brody Roberts.
Great backup from Brody. And on the Blackhawks centre as well. That's got to hurt. Margin back at 8, under 3 to go, and that is far too easy for the Bobcats. Though Braden Pastori's just missed 2 in a row. Oh, Brody Roberts, great intercept. Mitch Small.
It shows what a difference makes when goalers play some defence, is that turnover occurs, because tell you what, the defenders aren't expecting that ball to come through.
Is that a caution to Dylan Nexhip?
I think umpire Joel Owen just letting the players know that, hey
He's
guys, you've probably been a bit late on a couple of these. Let's clean it back up.
Just over 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Margin is at 9. 36-27 in favour of the Blackhawks.
And showing his impact in goal attack, Brody Roberts has not missed a shot this quarter. What a difference that makes to a team.
He's set at 64% for the first half as Novak. It's his first shot for the game.
With those boxes looking like he might have got a hell bet settled nicely.
Crow. Yeah, Dylan Nexhip just raising his arm on the drive from Brody Roberts.
Yeah, if he kept that down on that one, I think he would have been fine.
Yeah, he was there.
Brody was trying to pull up, which wouldn't have gone his way.
Certainly got the
Terrific,
speed.
strong rebound.
And you gave Brody the commentator's curse by saying he hadn't missed this quarter too.
It is a gift of mine.
Doyle looking for something. Advantage on the offside from Marshall.
But this is where the slightly different goaling lineup. Strong body, Jake Novak. He does provide a complete difference there. You've now got 2 strong holders. It's hard to come up against.
Bobcats have won each quarter so far. 13-10 the first, 11-8 the second, and lead this quarter 12-11.
That's one of the things I like about Andrew Lewis's defence as well, and even his attacking game is things like that ball, he's still willing to keep chasing up, even if he's not quite sure the call's gone his way. Oh, strong rebound, Jake Novak. The young fella just needs to stay balanced and not be afraid to put it up again. Corey Jackson not afraid to put it down to him and give him a bit of confidence. Bobcats looking for a quick score here.
Yeah, potentially the last play of the quarter. Back to the transverse line. That
Just
was
too much on it.
Great idea from Tim Marshall. Brody Roberts was available, but just too much on it. And at three-quarter
even
time,
Brody Roberts can't jump that high.
at three-quarter time, Bobcats lead by 6 over the Blackhawks, 36-30. That again, that play, swinging it across court. Now Dylan. Looking for a big outlet. That was a great ball down the middle of the court into Jackson.
That's one they would have liked to have got in. A long ball.
It's remaining before half time.
Oh, great ball in. Well held, Corey Jackson. Even though he had the 2 players on him, absolutely kept the space to himself.
Oh, just off from Jackson,
Just
but
could not time the rebound there, the defenders.
tried a bit of a Harrison hoist there. Lewis and Jamison came up with it. Drives long along the transverse line. Gospel, Dean.
Oh,
Almost
well read,
behind Gospel, Dean.
oh,
Almost
well read,
picked
Tim
off
Marshall.
there.
Just
Tim Marshall.
let that foot go offside, unfortunately.
Right, eyes like a hawk on the baseline. Jackson swings it to Doyle and back again.
Just caught the eyes down of Andrew Lewis and perfectly placed that ball over his head. Off from the Blackhawks that they started the quarter with. But, well kept in, Lockie Crow. Opportunity jump.
Oh, beautiful
Great
ball
ball.
there from Mitch Small. Roberts under the post. Roberts looks out. Mitch Small wanted to deliver it mid-air. Quick hands and feet. Roberts. From Mitch Small. Bastori. Oh,
Misses but cleaned up by Brody Roberts.
great backup from Brody. So one more quarter to go in the Premier Men's Division for the Victorian MLeague for 2017. And the Melbourne City Blackhawks have got some work to do. Bayside Bobcats lead 36-30. And Matt, we've got some shooting stats from the third quarter.
Yeah, 9 goals from 13 attempts there for Corey Jackson. Probably looking at even cutting down those 4 misses. 3 from 4 from Jack Novak when he came on. More than admirable cameo appearance for the end of that quarter. But sharing the workload, the Bobcats, 6 goals apiece. 6 from 8 for Braden Pastor. 6 goals from 7 for Brody Roberts. As Tim Marshall gets a turnover of the very first centre pass there. Looking at giving them a chance to go to 7 up. Unfortunately thrown away Mitch Small. Bit of a miscommunication with the goalers there, both heading the opposite way.
Big difference in the shooting accuracy. Bobcats 36 from 47 attempts at 77% and 30 from 44 from the Blackhawks. So just 3 less attempts, but shooting at just 68%. And the other point to that is the lack of rebounding they've done in the circle today.
Yeah, Bobcats have definitely been all over the rebounds in their attacking line, which has made such a difference. That said, Blackhawks did come up with the ball a few times in the defensive circle, but we need to see a few more offensive rebounds from the few misses that the Blackhawks make.
So
And we have had the one defensive change also for the Blackhawks. The Nexip brothers swapping around. Dylan now goalkeeper, Corey now at goal defence.
So we'll see if that makes any difference, because the last 2 quarters, Pastor's scored 12 since quarter time and Roberts has scored 11. So not much has changed since quarter time. Pastor was obviously did the bulk of the shooting in the first quarter, and it's evened up in the last.
Maybe they're looking at seeing whether the matchup will work a bit differently, whether maybe Dylan will be a bit tighter back on Braden, maybe a bit more of a physical presence on him to do, as I said before, get him off balance on a few of those. But also maybe a bit of fresher legs out from Corey on Brodie Roberts. We're back to 5 goals, but it is with centre pass at this point. Bobcats looking to push it back to the 6. Oh, well read.
Off by Corey Nexip.
One of those few lazy moments from Brodie Roberts, assuming he had it across the line. But great forehand down the line, tennis style. From
I wonder if the Blackhawks have sort of put the Bobcats into a false sense of security because they haven't contested that well at the centre pass all game.
Yeah, now's the opportunity to really do that. They're not expecting it.
Roberts left alone on the baseline.
Really exaggerated the knee bend to make sure that one got over on the short shot.
Novak. Back to Corey next hip.
Oh.
Dean floated that one and Jamison picked it off.
Yeah, never enough on that ball. Jake Novak probably hadn't given himself quite enough room for Will Jamison having closed that space. But we need to see the defensive pressure if they want to get the turnover again.
Roberts' customary swing, but it came off Mitch Small.
Absolutely the right thing there. Keep attacking the ball from a defensive point of view, and you're going to get the turnover. Often you're going to hit it onto another player deliberately or, by accident. Just want to see a bit more energy from the Blackhawks here now. They get a turnover, get up and about.
Doyle looked, and that was a great scare from Will Jamison.
Oh, the defenders absolutely put the doubt in the mind there of Lockie Dean. Didn't end up contesting it at all, which is a shame. I think he would have been able to take that ball. But, well fought back at Doyle.
It's opened up now a little bit for the Blackhawks. Marshall, Crow, Pastor, Small. Brodie Roberts, that's his 15th of the game. 15 from 20 at 75%.
But again, the pressure's dropped off of that centre pass that we saw applied earlier. Oh, I think that was a great leave of a call there, though. Both threw their body at it in various directions. No one actually interfered with each other.
I actually didn't think Pastor was going to get anywhere near it, so it was great contest.
How he got in there is quite questionable. It takes a bit of a knock to the face on that one. Well held, Jake Novak.
Yeah, and good turn in the air too.
Just edges in.
It's his 4th from 5. Blackhawks with the centre need to make a move now. Margin at 6 with the centre pass. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the game.
Something Mitch Small is very good at is he will keep contesting that ball and nearly comes up with a turnover as a result.
And Novak scores back-to-back goals.
Blackhawks, you want to pick up the ball on this one. You're the ones who've got to get the turnover.
Low scoring start to the quarter once again. 5 minutes gone. Blackhawks lead 4-3. Oh, picked off again, Corey Nexip.
The question here is, are they going to capitalise on this turnover?
Now having to reset, it gives Bobcats a chance to muscle up and to set their defence.
Oh, nice swing there.
Dean.
Oh, beautifully opens up baseline. This change-up of having Jake Novak in there has given Corey Jackson the opportunity to come out of the circle. It's taken the focus away from him for a little bit. Jake Novak's opened up beautifully.
And a chance to bring it back to 3.
Oh, well turned. And that's some good goal of communication there. And not being afraid to go to post.
Could Novak prove to be the masterstroke?
Well, he shot 4 of their goals this quarter to Corey Jackson's 2. Clearly, Bobcats haven't thought that was going to happen.
Quarter break is 6-3. Bobcats need to respond.
Oh, nearly picks up that ball, just slightly late on it. Braden Pastor probably had the clearer hands on it.
Sure shot then from Braden Pastor. 25 from 31, 81% tonight.
Nice turn and drive there. Will Jamison trying to apply a bit more pressure outside the circle now.
Jackson now getting in on the action. No misses to either shooter in this last quarter so far.
Now we're starting to see the calibre of goalers that we do have there, as they are capable of 100% quarters. But Willow have put the Mickey on them already. Here's where I want to see that pressure though, picking up Brodie Roberts early. Make him do the work outside. He'll tire a bit, and that's when he starts to miss shots short.
Crow looking for
something, isn't he?
Yeah. Roberts, customary swing across court. Pastor.
Looked like it was about to bounce out, somehow stayed in. A couple of those ones were the ones unlucky for Corey Jackson the last couple of quarters that have fallen out.
Restores the 3-goal margin. 4 goals. My apologies. 41-37. Half this last quarter gone. Novak.
Just patience there. That's the key for these Blackhawks when they're in attack. Probably look at quick turnover, but patience in attack. The experience of Corey Jackson coming through there, chasing up the ball, going, we need to get it back if we want to peg this. Oh, first miss for the quarter, though, for Jake Novak.
I'm not even sure that touched the ring from Jake Novak.
We need to get it back if we want to peg this. Oh,
Bobcats looking to extend their advantage, and beautiful vision from Mitch Small.
Oh, did he jump from out of court? Somehow not. Probably forcing that first shot.
Mitch Small.
If he'd just balanced, he would have been from out of court somehow not. Making no mistake on the second one.
Just playing the wing attack role very well. Mitch Small looking to the circle in his first attempt.
Yeah, always looking for the swing on that one, Brodie Roberts. But it's open for the majority of the time. Terrific ball in, Mitch Small.
A little congested, but Roberts and Pastor just have great timing and footwork around the next tip brothers.
As it's just gone back out to 6. They've had it back to 3.
Just have.
Showing how crucial that turnover is. Tim Marshall not happy with that call, but perhaps he forced the player on to his teammate there, which may have caused the contact. Well opened up there, Matt Doyle. Just over 5 minutes to go. Still got a bit of work ahead of them, the Blackhawks, as that shot edges out.
Marshall, Jamison, Roberts, Crow.
There is no way that ball should have got through.
No.
But
Intercepted by Corey Nexip. Blackhawks need to
let go of the ball for one.
Yeah.
That was on early. I don't know why the hesitation. That's a much better drive.
They've been hesitant all game, particularly in attack, and now's not the time to freeze up once you've got the margin back to 3, because it's back out at 6.
Clear option ahead of you. Let it go.
Bobcats through Crow. Small. Jamison at the transverse line onto Roberts. High ball to Crow at the top of the circle. Small. Just
Nice swing ball.
Content to play it around and take some time off the clock while they're at it.
Brodie Roberts probably lucky there on that swing that he didn't end up pushing off. He has a habit of finding the body well, but sometimes a bit too much body.
44-38, under 4 to go in the match. Dean, a great
good
hand
hands
from Lewis. Offside from Marshall.
And just have a look at the feeding point that both teams are doing. Both Matt Doyle and Lockie Dean are bringing the ball up quite high, not always the best option, whereas the attackers from the Bobcats aren't afraid to keep it that little bit lower, which is opening things up.
Novak 6 from 7 this quarter. So is Braden Pastor. But it has meant that Corey Jackson's gone missing a little bit. Just 3 goals in 12 minutes. Crow, Roberts. Blackhawks looking to extend the margin to 6. Small.
And not going to force that ball in, Brodie Roberts. No need at all. They've got the margin.
And they still look incredibly calm, the Bobcats. And that
Oh, what a shot.
could be the sealer.
There was a contest against the post there that somehow that still fell through perfectly.
What a shot for your 30th goal of the game too.
And a crucial breaking call against Jake Novak there. Not ideal when you're at the 5-6 goal point, but there's a chance here.
And 6, which is what the margin was at halftime too. So Blackhawks haven't made any inroads into that margin from halftime.
We saw them get down to the 3, but they were not able to break it further than that after pushing out as far as 10. But Bobcats, I think, are going to be quite wise and just kick the ball back and wait for the open option. They've got 2 minutes. They can easily hold this ball up for that amount of time while still scoring another couple of goals. Bit of a late contact there. Probably played up a little bit by Brodie.
Through the body that time, that choice, rather than around the body to the ball. But Roberts makes them pay 47-39. Who've been the stand-up players for yourself tonight?
Look, I think the defensive combination of Will Jamieson and Andrew Lewis has been so solid there. They've worked quite well together. Not a lot of balls got through, they haven't realised. Brodie Roberts has done so much work for them in the attack. He's even started after that first quarter where he was probably a little bit quiet on the goal in front. He's definitely put on volume since then, and Braden Pastor has been so solid in goal shooter as well.
So just over a minute remaining in the Premier Men's Division of the Victorian MLeague for 2017, and the Bobcats are going to do it. It's just a matter of how much. Novak.
Yeah, probably a bit of a long shot for Jake Novak. He doesn't normally put up ones from there because he can get himself positioned under the post. Just lost his feet there, Andrew Lewis, trying to get to the post. Another rare miss from Corey Jackson as Jake Novak gets the rebound to finish off. 30 seconds to go in this game.
Bobcats looking to finish. They do through Pastori.
And a probably appropriate swing ball there. Summed up the attacking style that they've used and once again worked for them.
And 9 from 10 in this last quarter. Pastor
just off balance
can't
shot
ask
there.
for too much more. 7 seconds to go. Is there time for one more?
I don't think it's going to be quite enough time. Long ball's going through though.
And that's it. The Bayside Bobcats have taken out the game 49-41 over the Melbourne City Blackhawks in the Premier Men's Division. Matt, thanks very much for your expert commentary.
Thank you. It's always been a pleasure.
So stay with us. Back in about 8 minutes or so, we'll be bringing you the Premier Mixed Division final live from the State Napa Hockey Centre in Melbourne.